Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
I'll be delivering the communication shortly. Let us move to the next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have several papers. We begin with Honorable Edina Wambogo Kingori, Chairperson, Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution.
Very well. Honorable Edina Kingori, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Committee of the Public Service Administration and Devolution has a preliminary report on the Nyandarua County Inspectorate and Enforcement Bill 2024. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Public Service Administration and Devolution has been diligently reviewing the Nyandarua County Inspectorate and Enforcement Bill 2024. Following the formal presentation of the bill to the House, your esteemed directive lets the committee to conduct a thorough examination of the bill and prepare this preliminary report. As part of our review process, the committee undertook a public participation exercise, which was held on the 7th and the 11th of October 2024. Following this, the committee engaged in further consultation with the relevant department in order to finalize the review process. Given that the department has recently appointed a new County Executive Committee member, CECM, there is now a need for additional and more intensive consultation with the new CECM as well as other key stakeholders to ensure a comprehensive conclusion of the matter. In view of the ongoing consultation, Mr. Speaker, sir, I hereby request a 30-day extension for the committee to finalize and present a comprehensive report to the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Uh, 30 days extension granted as requested, as the reasons has been explained. Next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, still under the same order, we have a paper by Honorable Paul Gesho-Wambaire, Chairperson, Committee on Health Services.
Honorable Paul Gesho-Wambaire, Chairperson, Committee on Health Services and member for Kipipiri.
Mr. Speaker, I have with me the report on the budget implementation for the financial year 2023-2024 for Department of Health Services and I table.
The report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee pursuant to Standing Order 157-5D. Next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, still under the order on papers, we have a paper by Honorable Isaac Kamambai, Chairperson, Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Honorable Isaac Kamambai, Chairperson, Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. And member for Githioro, proceed.
Point of clarification, Honorable Speaker.
What is it, Honorable Kayani?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to seek your clarification on the title of that department. I am
Point of order.
I am fully aware that, Honorable Speaker, that indeed last week there was a gazettement on the reorganization of the government, and in that department there is the introduction of the Department of Tourism. I would have expected conformity with the gazettement. Otherwise, we'll be acting ultra bias in as far as gazetted departmental reorganization is concerned. I seek your clarification, Honorable Speaker.
Point of information. Yes, information from where? Honorable Mikaju, yes, information, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The information is to the House. that the process of renaming the department is underway, and that cannot stop the committee from tabling the report as is, because the information is not yet complete. It will be completed within the stipulated time of 14 days. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
What is it, Honorable Kayani?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I sought information from yourself. I don't know on what capacity Honorable Milika is speaking. I don't know whether she's holding brief for the executive, and I was aware she's in the House when I sought information from yourself. And when the information is gazetted, that's a government.
Order, Honorable Kayani.
What is that?
The information was to the House and it was welcome. Proceed with your point of order.
Thank you. I don't think she's on point of. I mean, her point of order is varied.
It was not a point of order, Honorable Kayani. It was information to the House.
Right.
And it was granted and it was welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My point is this. I sought information from the chair, and that gazettement is from the national government gazettement. So it is valid in all senses. So to say that the department is being organized and information is being delayed is to put the cart before the horse. It should have been the other way around. The organization first, renaming first, and then gazettement. If it is gazetted, that's the tail end of the whole process. Thank you.
Clarification from the chair.
Order. What clarification, Honorable Gache?
You see, either I'm confused or I don't know what is happening inside here, because I don't know whether something like a set notice has been tabled, or where are we? Just guide the House.
I'm giving the ruling.
Point of information.
I'm ruling on the point of order.
Point of information.
Welcome.
Honorable Speaker, even as you give the guidance and the ruling, I also want to understand how information from the executive and the cabinet resolutions are communicated to the House. I know most of the time when we do gazettement, we are doing for the general populace or the public to understand what is happening. But there is always a way the executive communicate to this assembly. And secondly, we have to put into consideration something we call transition. Because even if there is a gazettement on a notice on what the governor has done through an executive order or wherever, or through the cabinet, Honorable Speaker, we are in the middle of an year. And I think this is going to affect even the committees. Because now, there is no way you can tell us, because there was a notice yesterday, everything else is going to stop. Things will take effective on the next financial year. Because some of these departments, even financially, according to budget, will remain where they were, because we are not in a position to reorganize. There are some work that is ongoing, there are some commitment, there is everything. So I think even as committees, sectoral committee, we will reorganize at that level. Because there have been ongoing reports by the committee, they will be handing over. You know, you cannot tell a committee that was working on a report maybe for tourism to stop and hand over immediately to go to the Department of Water. You have to conclude these matters in a smooth way. Otherwise, you are going to create a crisis.
Okay, that's very okay, Honorable Kongo. I want to guide the House that
Honorable Speaker,
the gazettement was tabled this morning. It was gazetted. The gazette notice was tabled in this House this morning, and it was directed. It was directed to the delegated committee, and the committee sought 28 days to report to the House. And I believe that whatever the report will include, that will include also the debate after the report has been tabled. In the meanwhile, Honorable Bai, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As he proceeds, just further clarification.
Order, Honorable Kayani, on that matter is ruled. We proceed.
No, I'm not just disputing your rule.
Order, we proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is the report
I'd wish to table the report on the Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for financial year ended June 30th, 2024. And I table.
The report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee pursuant to Standing Order 157.5D. Next order. Honorable members, as the chair promised to Honorable Whip, you can have your seat. Promised to read the communication later. This is the time to read that communication. Directions on the motion by the Special Committee on Human Resource in the Health Department and the status of insurance of county vehicles on consideration of insurance of county vehicles. Honorable members, you recall that this House approved the establishment of a special committee to look into matters human resource in the health department and the status of insurance of county vehicles on consideration of insurance of county vehicles. The committee, upon consideration of the matters before it, compiled two reports. The first report was on human resource in the health department, while the second one was on the status of insurance of county vehicles on consideration of insurance of county vehicles. Honorable members, the House adopted the first report. The same was transmitted to the executive together with the resolutions of the House for implementation, which I believe the Committee on Implementation shall be reporting back to this House on the extent of implementation. Honorable members, on the second report, the chairperson, Honorable Zachary Mwangi Jeru, tabled a report and moved a motion for its adoption on 4th December 2024. The motion was successfully seconded and a question on the motion proposed. However, honorable members, before the members could substantially contribute to the motion, the House was affected by a quorum hitch and adjourned after the quorum bell, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 37. Honorable members.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. The movement while you're still standing, the chair is still standing. That's quite an
order, Honorable Gishoki. Order.
And Honorable Gashomba as well. Honorable Milka the same.
Honorable Kiruka, put off your mic.
Somebody has mentioned Honorable
Milka.
And when you say Milka, you clarify.
Yes, because Gashomba can never be Milka.
Order, honorable members. We proceed with the communication. Honorable members, since the matter was important to the House, and despite the lapse of time allocated to the committee to report to the House, I believe and observe that the report is already a property of the House, and the motion remains a motion of this House until its logical conclusion in accordance with the standing orders. As such, honorable members, I will invite the members to contribute to the motion, but before then, let me invite the chairperson, Honorable Zachary Mwangi Jeru, to remind and appraise the members of the contents of the report before they contribute. Thank you, honorable members.
Point of clarification.
Honorable members, you may have your seat.
Point of clarification.
Okay. Order, next order.
Point of clarification.
What clarification, Honorable?
Honorable Speaker, we heard a statement before the motion. There was a statement by the Water Committee
Clerk, next order. Hold on. The motion will continue thereafter in accordance with the order paper. Proceed.
Order, order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a statement response to be given by Honorable Isaac Kamombai, Chairperson, Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Honorable Isaac Bai. Honorable Ibrahim Maina, on behalf of Honorable Bai, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a statement response. That's a preliminary report on water tariffs in Orkalau municipality by Orkalau Water and Sanitation Company, Orwasco. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to the provisions of the standing order number 46-2A, Honorable Stephen Muriithi Matimo on 3rd March 2025 sought information from the chairpersons on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources Committee on water tariffs in Orkalau Municipality and Sanitation Company, or ASCO. Mr. Speaker, sir, to respond to the above questions raised by Honorable Stephen Muriithi Matimo, the Speaker referred the statement to the Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources for it to consider and report back to the House. The statement was tabled before the committee for consideration. It was resolved to seek the information through a letter to the Managing Director or Orkalau Water and Sanitation Company Limited. This was done through a letter referenced NCA Clerk /COMM 17/2/2025 and dated 4th March 2025, and a response were received on 10th March 2025, referenced Orwasco Nyandarua Government /admin 5/25. Mr. Speaker, the committee, on considering the statement response, noted that there is need to seek further information for clarity of the response. Arising from the above, the committee seeks a further 14 days to come up with a comprehensive response to the statement. Signed by Honorable Isaac Bai Kamau, Chairperson, Water Committee.
Thank you. The response report is duly tabled and read. The seeker of the statements, Honorable Stephen Muriithi Matimo, are you satisfied with the time sought for?
The House adopt the report of the Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution on the statement sought by one Honorable Steve Muriithi Matimo on the status of the insurance of county vehicles. And Honorable Speaker, during the debate, the member for Githafai, the one Honorable Engineer Lemui Kayani, proposed that the House does form an ad hoc or a special committee to conduct a thorough examination of the documents presented to the Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution And Honorable Speaker, it is during that inquiry that we invited a number of key informants, ranging from drivers, that is a former driver, an aggrieved driver, a representative from the drivers union, chairperson of the Tender Evaluation Committee for the Provision of General Insurance in the year 2024, the head of supply chain management, the chief officer roads, the county attorney, the county secretary, and the Sunram Insurance Company. And we had an in-depth deliberation, Honorable Speaker, and throughout the report, we have given the committee findings, and we have also given our observation and recommendations. And with that, that is when now, upon having debate in the floor of the House, Honorable Engineer Muikayani requested that before the question is put, the motion was so important to the to this county, and it was imperative to hear, even from the two members who were key informants, that is Honorable Stephen Murray and Honorable Kayani. And without much ado, as you have given instructions, the floor is open for any member. And if possible, the city members should be given preference, starting with Honorable Engineer Muikayani. Sorry, yes, Matimo, who was the seeker of the statement that promoted this motion, and then Honorable Kayani in that way, so as we do conclude, and the recommendations therein in this report will be binding upon approval by this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Stephen Murithi Matimo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing us to get to a matter that we did discuss previously. And after having discussed, we requested this Honorable House to allow us that. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, for that. I don't know why this tablet is misbehaving. Mr. Speaker, I've just mentioned that after having requested this Honorable House to grant us yet another opportunity to have a look at the report beforehand, and Chair, you saw it worth that today we have a look at something that is of much importance to our county. First and foremost, I would wish to really thank the Chair of the Special Committee for the good work that they went along to undertake in matters insurance in our county. Mr. Speaker, one of the main reasons as to why I decided to seek, or I sought this statement, is because of the situation that we are in as a county. You found that many of the times that we have our county vehicles being involved in various accidents that sometimes are fatal. And many of the times, Mr. Speaker, that most of these vehicles are not compensated back by the various insurance companies that undertake covers of our county vehicles. And from what from the report that the committee did, I'm really grateful, Honorable Zachary, for the good work that you undertook. And from just looking at the comprehensive report that they did, Chair, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are having...
Mr. Speaker. What is it, Honorable Gadugu?
Honorable Speaker, you know I can't rate Honorable Steve Matimo to misread the House. He is saying the good work that Honorable Zachary did. You are part and parcel of that committee, Honorable Speaker. Why should he take the credit alone? Committee.
Honorable Matimo, stand guided.
I stand guided, Mr. Speaker. When I mention about the Chair, I'm actually referring to the entire committee. So, Honorable Gadongo, you are actually, when you hear me mention about the Chair, I'm referring to you as a committee, because
Honorable Kadungu, switch off your mic, kindly.
It's something that you did as a unit, and that cannot go down without having said that you did some good work. I was saying, Mr. Speaker, having looked at this report, for sure we are having a problem. That even having this government that we are in, we still have various issues to do with insurance. Mr. Speaker, if you go to this report on page 66, you will find that we still have a very good number of vehicles that are still, whose fate are not still known, Mr. Speaker. If you go still on the same to page 69 of much interest, the committee went further and they decided to, using an app that is used to certify whether an insurance sticker is genuine or not. They went further as a team and they wanted to ascertain by sampling to know which vehicles have genuine insurance stickers, Mr. Speaker. And out of what they were able to get, out of a number of vehicles, they found that of the samples that they did, 10 vehicles had they had QR or they had insurance, in short. 18 of them they had no QR on the stickers, Mr. Speaker. 5 of them, they had no insurance sticker at all. What does that tell you? If today the 5 vehicles in our county are involved in an accident, one thing is for sure, we shall not be able to get these vehicles compensated back. Number 2, if they are involved in an accident which is fatal, what will happen, Mr. Speaker, by the end of the day? We shall find that some or whoever will have, or the family, will be paid from the county coffers, Mr. Speaker. This is something that we need to look into as a county, we need to look into as a house, and ensure that we get value for money. I'm really grateful because of the recommendation that they made. And maybe just by a sample, and I'm grateful because of what the committee did. On page 70, they've given a sample, a screenshot of what they got from one of the vehicles that they worked on. This is a county vehicle by registration 18CG 2248A. It has no details. It has got no engine number. You cannot know which make it is, which model, which year of manufacture, the tonnage, but the vehicle is covered by Sanlam. What does it tell us as a county? The other day, the report that we received is that there are vehicles in our county that we don't have logbooks for those particular vehicles, Mr. Speaker. And I suspect this might be one of those many vehicles that we are having. If you go to page 71, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear that from running a QR, they were not even able to get anything from the same. And I didn't mention when I was requesting for this statement that I went to one of the vehicles using the same the same app that is available on our phones. The result that I got, or the QR that I got, was from one of the beer brands in Kenya that was being purported to be an insurance cover. I did another one for one of the vehicles that ferry fuel. It had an insurance cover for a bus, whereas that particular vehicle was ferrying or ferries fuel for the various machineries in our county. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree entirely with the recommendation that we have herein. And I would request that the recommendation that this committee came up with should not just be recommendation that will be discussed today and nothing is done as a follow-up. I want you to go on record, Mr. Speaker, that after making this recommendation, we give timelines that are within the report that this committee did of 60 days. After the 60 days, Mr. Speaker, let's get a report from the executive what they've done as matters pertaining to the recommendation after these issues were raised by this very committee. We've had cases, Mr. Speaker, of even our drivers being taken to court, and no one goes to follow up until they have a demonstration at the executive end. And what happens thereafter, Mr. Speaker, it remains to be history. I would wish, as a House, going forward, that the recommendation, which are around 13, Mr. Speaker, that we follow them to the letter to ensure that they are adhered to, they are followed to the letter, and we get reports back to this House within the 60 days on each and every recommendation that the committee came up with. As I finalize, there's one recommendation that maybe it's worth noting, Mr. Speaker, and this is number 6. The County Executive Committee does formulate a centralized fleet management policy and submit it to this House. Right now, Mr. Speaker, I don't say that our county vehicles they don't have a specific duty. But you'll find some of our vehicles, Mr. Speaker, at as late as past midnight on the road. And maybe if you ask the county secretary or whoever is in charge of that particular vehicle, he or she might not be knowing that the vehicle is out at this particular time. But with the policy framework, I believe that we shall be able to know at a click of a button maybe where the vehicles of our county are and what duty it's carrying it out at a particular time. The last but not the least is number 11. The county secretary does ensure that all county machinery, motor vehicles, and motorcycles have been transferred to county ownership within 90 days. I've mentioned earlier on that we have county vehicles that yes, we have our machines or our vehicles that we don't have logbooks. I remember it was mentioned last time that like some of the graders that we have as a county, we don't have ownership, we don't have a logbook. So that even if we get to a point that we want to dispose some of these vehicles and buy new ones, it will be very hard for you to sell a vehicle or to dispose a vehicle without a logbook, Mr. Speaker, sir. And no one can accept to buy such a thing. The last one, which again was very important, was the county secretary to follow up the issue on the fire engine. This vehicle was bought with a lot of money. It still lies in Naivasha, in Boch Motors. We don't know what the fate of this particular vehicle is up to date. And I would wish the same is followed up so that we can conclude this matter once and for all. The other one that, Mr. Speaker, sir, that I would request this Honorable House, from time to time, let's not just sit here and think that things are running out. I would request that maybe at a particular time, Mr. Speaker, we can go out there and do some more sampling of the county vehicles with the guidance of maybe every committee of this Honorable House. We have that up and just do some sampling to ensure that our vehicles are covered and are well taken care of. With that, I'm very grateful, Honorable Zachary, together with your team. I can see Honorable Sasha, who was your vice in the House, Honorable Kamau Gadongo from the Shaufondo. You did some good work. I can see Honorable Dan, who was also part of that committee. You did some good work. May God bless you for coming up with this information that I believe will be a game changer in terms of insurance cover for our county. With that, I support the same, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Engineer Rimoi Kayani, member for Vida 5, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to begin from the onset with the following. That I know good reports when I see them. I also know bad ones when I see them. And before me is a report I would call a good report. The committee did a commendable job, despite the fact that you took a bit too long to finalize on it. Indeed, you utilized your time very well, and it won't go unnoticed that the chair of the select committee is the leading scholar in matters academia, and excellence goes with those who pursue academics to the highest level. And therefore, Honorable Chair, you did your work very well. Myself and the Honorable Gadongo, who are also still students, you will not let us down. Keep up the good job, such as this, and actually do better going forward as you pursue your doctorate studies. Honorable Speaker, there are many things that this report contains. Among the many things it contains are things that are not good. The many things this report contains, among them are many are not very good. And especially if I delve a little while on the matters of the recommendation of this committee, all the way, Honorable Speaker, if you could ask the chairman for health to consult, we'll be able to contribute without listening to their consultation. Honorable Speaker, I want to take a point and say the following regarding the recommendation, and I'll dwell literally on that. It is disturbing that a county that has so many vehicles, so many of them, has no fleet management system. Honorable Speaker, even if I don't say anything else, I would say it's extremely disturbing. And no wonder the confusion that exists in there, that even vehicles we cannot tell which vehicles are operational or not, is equally disturbing. But I would have wondered how else would that have been possible if there's no centralized fleet management. And one question that begs an answer, Honorable Speaker, is why not have one? An institution such as a county with so many vehicles would not even find it prudent to come up with a fleet management system. And therefore, a centralized way of running the vehicles, even getting to know which vehicles are operational or not, which ones are grounded or not. It is disturbing, and I can say it's so pathetic that should be the case that we find ourselves in. One of the recommendations that is in page 17, the committee did say that there's need to streamline the insurance processes. And I wondered, even the committee as you're making this recommendation, how possible would that have been if the fleet management is not streamlined? And I guess you need to address that issue that by saying the first thing first, and the first thing is to streamline the fleet. Let there be a centralized fleet management system in which all vehicles are known where they are, who has them, and what they're doing. Recommendation number 2 is what you say, centralized fleet management policy. I would really not dwell so much on the policy part. I would dwell literally on the infrastructure. Establish the office, the management of the office, and then come up with a policy. Because then, how would you have a policy of a disjointed kind of fleet management system? Again, that would follow the dedicated fleet manager for county-wide. And I would say this, Honorable Speaker, even as I read this report, the budget committee is sitting, or has been sitting, looking at the budget allocation. And one of the components in that budget that has repeated itself so annoyingly is the issue of fuel and lubricants. And I kept wondering, for what? For which vehicles? And they're not even known they're there. So we end up having so much fuel loops without necessarily knowing how those loops are used and whether they were actually ever bought. And we have no way to check. And for that reason, the only way to treat that kind of challenge is to have a fleet management system and office with an officer in charge, designated, including the maintenance aspect of it, and including the insurance, so that at any given time it's known where the vehicle, the location of the particular vehicle is known. The status of that vehicle is known. The insurance of that particular vehicle is known. The driver of that vehicle is known. The department utilizing that vehicle is known. The way it is God for us all, and everybody for himself. There are so many vehicles which are grounded. It also disturbs me that vehicles which have outlived their usefulness are still called county vehicles. I wonder why we don't dispose of some of the disposable assets and be able to get a little more money or even purchase new vehicles. Why are we still having junks littered everywhere? There was a recommendation in this honorable house that some of these vehicles, grounded as they are not worth any penny for repair. They should just be disposed and new vehicles are obtained, because the maintenance cost is way above what is feasibly and practically possible. Finally, Honorable Speaker, an asset register, definitely with a fleet management system and a fleet management office, an asset register will be available and to be possible to know which vehicle is where. Now the other recommendation, and I am going to take my seat, and I want to further that point from where Honorable Matimo left, is that this good report that I started by saying it is good must be followed up. I would want the chair, or even other committee that the speaker, your office will find deemed necessary to follow up on this matter, should be able to provide this assembly with the fleet register. I did see at one point a requirement that the county secretary provide certain information as asked by the committee. I would want to see a fleet register for the vehicles that we have in the next, if possible, 60 days. Let the vehicles be designated to department. Let's know who the drivers are in those departments. Some of the vehicles, and I know Honorable Gesa is listening to me and looking at me, sometimes you find a plate on a vehicle that is changed tomorrow. I don't know when you're developing the register which plate you should associate with that car. I will leave that to you as you check. I don't know why some of the plates are it's necessary to find some of the plates. Why would you want to change the plate of your vehicle the next day as if you're dealing with illegal business? I have had my car with the same plate all the times and I'm still alive and kicking. Maybe this assembly should find it necessary to allocate members of this honorable house with a spare plate, so that if I want to hide where I am, I can just put it. I don't know how legal that is, by the way, but I'm aware there are plates that are also given to vehicles. So, Honorable Speaker, finally, it is disturbing and extremely so that we have vehicles for the county that do not have logbooks. One of the requirements by the insurance company for them to give you an insurance sticker is a copy of the logbook. So when you tell me there are vehicles that don't have logbooks, are you then telling me those vehicles have valid insurance? Please, Chair, as I give you commendation on the good work done, I want you to answer that. How did you manage to get a sticker for a vehicle that doesn't have a logbook? And that does also put a query on the works that you've done. You'd have to explain to us that point and tell us whether what the information you have can be authenticated on the basis that no logbook is available. And how comes county government vehicles procured with public money do not have the logbooks? Where are the logbooks? What happened to them? And you know, these days there are people who are lending money out there with just a mere presentation of the logbook. Could it have been possible that somebody presented the logbook and some money was obtained? How safe are we? And how sure can we say that our vehicles are indeed vehicles? And finally, Honorable Speaker, the procurement of the insurance company. I know, and we did say, we would want to see the historical insurance administration. And I would have wanted to see not just a representation of one year, insurance year. I don't know why the committee found it necessary to just look at 1 year. I would have wanted to see, this report running several years and being able to tell us a story, whether the illegalities that are purported to have been committed by the county were indeed there, and that why it would have been necessary to engage in those illegalities. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I have also read in the report that the county government lost 900,000 shillings via the driver who was put in, and money was paid for that reason. I would want to know who was charged that money, because it ought not have been lost, because the insurance company ought to have compensated us adequately, and the county government having to pay 900,000 to secure a staff, yet the insurance cover was valid, is also suspect, to say the least. Finally, if you display a sticker on your vehicle, it must have a QR code. I've seen in your report, actually the page 64, you're saying that you sampled some 40 vehicles, and that was quite well done. 33 had insurance stickers out of 40. I don't know what the remaining 7 had. You'd have to tell us what you found in the remaining 7 out of the sample of 42. You are telling us that 3 had a sticker. So what did the other 7 have? 10 had QR code. So I wonder, out of the 33, what the other 23 had. And if it doesn't have a QR code, it means that that is not authentic. And finally, 18 had no QR code. So I wonder, those that didn't have a QR code, did they photocopy the sticker? They must have photocopied those stickers. And the chair will tell us what happened in that case. Otherwise, why was it not visible? Because it was a photocopy. You will tell us that. And then there were 5 vehicles that did not have insurance stickers, as per your report on page 64. So if they didn't have insurance stickers, what did they have? Were they supposed to be on the road? I would end it there. And I would end it with this note. That as the chair responds with this matter, I would want a follow-up on this. If it is the Committee on Implementation, which partakes of this matter or the recommendation of the House after they have been adopted in the House, and I can see our able Vice Chair is with us, that this committee does take this matter up and be able to take over the recommendations as approved by this Honorable House and be able to report back to this Honorable House, maybe within 90 days, so that we know where we are. People's lives are more important than anything else. And if our drivers are driving vehicles which cannot be termed as roadworthy, then we're putting their lives and the lives of their children, their lives of their brothers and sisters at jeopardy, including the lives of their parents. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we should not take this matter light, but we should also take it very seriously in a way that we are able to deal with that. The machine, the fire engine that is in Naivasha, I was privileged to travel all the way to Munich in Germany. And I had a road drive through Vienna, Austria, all the way through Serbia to Zagreb in Croatia, just to follow up on that machine and ensure that Nyandarua got the best. Only for it to come back here and to be told that the machine had an accident, and it's no more. A 50 million worth of investment just going to waste, just like that, and somebody is not behind the bus? We must be jokers, and we must be joking. And for it to be dumped somewhere, how are we going to get that machine if those people charges you storage charges? How do you recover that machine, whatever is left of it? I think it's some of the things that we really need to wake up and deal with as an assembly, and stop being a rubber stamping assembly. Let's wake up and do our oversight responsibility in a more diligent and prudent manner, so that when our days and history is being read, we will appear in the annals of history in the proper manner, not in a way that we sat down and allowed bad things to happen to our people, and yet we were meant to be good people. I would wonder whether we'll be termed as good people, and whatever they tell us, the judgment will be theirs. With those many remarks, I want to contribute and leave it at that, and I want to thank the work of the committee, but let's not stop it at that. Let us just finalize the work through a follow-up. Thank you.
Honorable Shasha Wamai.
Thank you, Honorable
Proceed.
Speaker. I raise in support of this report. I was the vice chairperson of this special committee, headed by a very able chairperson, Honorable Zachary, a great load of members, and a great secretariat. And Honorable Speaker, this report, I am so happy that the honorable members who spoke and who brought this issue to our attention have clearly stated or recognized the work that has gone into making this document and to bringing this information to the House. Honorable Speaker, I will not want to belabor on so many on the points that have been discussed in the House, but I just want to make emphasis and emphasis on some of the recommendations we made as a committee. And before I delve into that, I also want to thank Honorable Kayani and Honorable Matimo for the cooperation. It was very, you really cooperated with the committee, and it was very easy to work with you. And you really guided this committee on the areas that we needed to put clear checks on. And that's why I think we are satisfied you are quench. Mr. Speaker, on the recommendation number 3 is that the Office of the County Attorney is involved in preparation of the insurance tender documents as they form part of the contract. Honorable Speaker, you realize that once we had all these people, we had meetings with them, we summoned them to the committee. We summoned the county attorney to the committee because we had several questions on the legalities, or maybe the illegalities we realized. And one thing that came out clearly is that however much this is a legal document, and however much we recognize that the issue of acquiring insurance is a tendering process, the county attorney is never involved. And that one beats the question how well we are protected legally. And that is why we have found so many inconsistencies. There are so many loopholes, because some of these issues can be, there are things that the county attorney, considering his legal background, would be able to capture and maybe streamline before we get further into the engagement of insurers. And that would prevent issues that we found to be a pain in the business of insurance and covering insurance in this county. Mr. Speaker, the other issue, so it is quite important that the county attorney, the next time we are engaging him, it is good that he has this information, and that one just goes on to insist that every stakeholder in this county, every department, need to be, to be in sync with each other so that they can provide, the best services to us as a county. The other recommendation I feel like I need to insist on is the issue of the centralization of fleet management, the policy, and that is to be submitted. We requested it to be submitted within 60 days. That is on the recommendation number 6, which states that the County Executive Committee does formulate a centralized fleet management policy and submit to this House within 60 days, because we realize that if we do not have this fleet management in order, we are not going to, it will be very hard
to keep tabs with the assets, and this goes the assets of this county, and we might not realize the best input from such investments that should be serving our people the best way possible. And then the recommendation number 9, that the county executive committee does review the county asset disposal policy and submit it to the House within 60 days. There is need, Honorable Speaker, for us to have a sober policy that will help in the management of the fleets, because failure to have a policy that guides us and, failure to have a centralized management policy, a policy that guides on the way we manage our fleets, we will be just, playing with the pigs in the mud, and we will not realize what this committee really is seeking to realize, bringing, streamlining these issues of insurance, ensuring that everything moves seamlessly, and that we safeguard and protect the assets of this county, and especially when it comes to insurance. And this one will serve everybody. These once we follow on these recommendations, I've just touched on the few because I do not want to repeat on all the 11, for they are all important, but I feel that there is a bit of emphasis that needs to be put on the legal backing of these recommendations. And Honorable Speaker, we want to thank this House for adding us time. There is a lot that needed to be done, and this House granted us enough time, and we are so grateful. As a committee, we will make the necessary follow-ups, and I request the relevant parties mentioned therein in the reports to adhere with the timelines, so that we are able to tackle this and give the in-house information, full-blown information. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support the reports.
Thank you, Honorable Sasha. Honorable Geche, member for Kipipiri. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a saying by Marcus Aurelius. He said the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. Let me repeat for the purpose of Kayani, Honorable Engineer Kayani. It is Marcus Aurelius who said this, Honorable Kayani. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. And today, I'm happy that our people have been informed about, you see, we inherited this fleet back then from the county council, and also the first devolution, 2013, and even this regime, we are having the third governor. I can tell you that the dozer that is working on our road, it was inherited from the county council, and it was somehow left there as if it is been written off. And I can tell you so many machines, they were left there only to be, what do you say in Swahili? They were not rehabilitated, but the spares were taken away. And you see, they were vandalized, that is the word. Thank you, the gather of Creator. So, Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is this. Today, I think we not only oversight, but we give advice. Actually, this report should be on the desk of His Excellency the Governor of Nyandarua. if you just ask him whether he knows how many cars he owns as the governor, he may not have an idea. How many are grounded? He may not have an idea. So whatever we are doing today, I think Kayani should be the CECM administration. Is it administration or he should be the county, actually he should be the county secretary. Because whatever he is asking, that is the first question for any government. If I become the governor of Nyandarua, I cannot just be in office where I don't know how many, what transpire and conspire. And you see, Honorable Kayani knows very well, KDJ, he knows. If it says the number plate changes, he knows that who owns that car, that vehicle. He knows KDB, he knows that vehicle, who owns it. And of course, he knows KBU, who owns that vehicle. So, about the issue of number plate, yes, they are there, but also there is the customized numbers, number plate for the county for accountability and transparency. So, whatever the committee has brought in, I have to trust in this committee because also they were working on a let me say my report on health because we had the issues in health, and I can tell you we have seen a great winning on the same because 90% of whatever we had recommended has happened, and I also have a lot of trust in this report now because the beauty of this report is when it is actualized. These recommendations, they are acted upon. We cannot continue where we don't have the log books. As Honorable Kayani is indicating, the log books. We cannot be able to continue when we don't have the insurance, the insurance cover for this fleet. It is where we are losing a lot of money, recurrent. Why should we budget for insurance cover, yet it is not actualized? Where does this money goes? Then that money needs, it goes to someone's pocket. Who is this? If it continues from 2013 now to date, then we are making some people to be richer using the public money. There is no prudent use of public resources. And this is what we are called for. I think today, whatever the members have raised, some people will not find the sense in it, but later on they will know whatever was asked, it was for the purpose of the people of Nyandarua. Because these fleets, they are bought using the monies for Nyandaruans. Let me say, for example, as I see it. In health, we have something we call the solid waste management. Though it will be transferred to water, I am reliably told. You see, Mr. Speaker, a road, I cannot see that honorable member from Boyu, the Shapondo. A lorry, a truck was involved in an accident, the one for garbage collection. And I can tell you this is the 5th year. It is in garage. And we don't know whether it was written off. But solid waste management is an issue. So if we don't have a fleet management policy, then we'll be having a lot of our assets lying idle, being federalized, because it is as if there is no caretaker. And what we say in any government, there is no party. What we say in any government, government is perpetual. Today we have the governor Kerry Badilisha. Once his term is over, a new governor will be sworn in. Another governor will come, the perpetual. They inherit, and they either inherit assets or they inherit baggage. So it is that assembly being called.
now to sanitize that sector, such that when we will have the predecessors, the governors and members coming in, they will be able to have in an easy time even oversighting what we own as a county. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the recommendation herein, and that's where I urge Honorable Kayani and Honorable Steve Matimu. We shall continue even narrowing to specific recommendation, because the Committee on Implementation should come in, but if they don't come in, we also need to narrow to every recommendation that we need now to act, because we have a lot of information. Like now, we may start with those vehicles without logbook, and we ask ourselves, where are the logbooks? And it will definitely, we shall win this. And I'm happy that members have become adventurous. They needed to know exactly what is happening. Once again, congratulations the committee. Engineer Lemui Kayani, I can now ascertain that something is happening in climate change. Now you are changing even the climate here inside. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may call the mover to respond.
Learning the mood of the House, Mr. Speaker, I now call the mover to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, once again, I would wish to appreciate the House for bestowing that power to the said committee to make sure that we dealt with the two matters of county importance, that being the first report of the committee, the issue to do with the health department, and now the issue to do with fleet management and the insurance issues. And Honorable Speaker, without going to each and every detail of the recommendation, it is very explicit that within the given timelines, the respective department must submit a comprehensive fleet management policy, and as well to have a fleet manager, so that the issue to do with fleet management can be centralized to deal with the bureaucracies and protocols that has been there. Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate that even if when we requested for the asset register, the county secretary was only left to consult the respective departments on the number of vehicles you have. So we do not have an elaborate asset register. And at the 21st century, Honorable Speaker, I think within a click of a button, you are able to tell, you should be able to tell how many vehicles we have, their model, their make, their engine capacity, and the rights. And Honorable Speaker, another fundamental issue that came along is the issue to do with having a county garage. Honorable Speaker, the issue to do with repair and maintenance, servicing. A new vehicle is grounded because of untimely servicing, Honorable Speaker, because of transmission charges. And that is why we are saying that we must have a fleet manager and a fleet management policy. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Matimu raised an issue that we may do a very good report, but without a follow-up. How are we going to ensure that there is compliance? So the respective committee, because obviously you know the ad hoc committee, the mandate of an ad hoc committee will rest upon giving the recommendations. But as a member responsible for oversight. I will make sure I work with the respective committee, and I think that is the committee led by one Honorable Kamwana, the Committee on Implementation, to make sure that within 60 days the same is done. The issue to do with the fire engine. Honorable Speaker, were it not for the sole effort of one, the chief officer, the current chief officer, Transport and Public Works, one, Mr. Karaja, we could not even be having a single fire engine in this county. And Honorable Speaker, yesterday we had a very heated discussion with the Committee on Budget, because we are trying to see how we can accommodate at least another fabrication of a fire engine, so that we have a fire engine for each and every sub-county, Honorable Speaker, so that we be in a position as a county to manage the issue of this disaster. And Honorable Speaker, the fire engine that we lost, it is the high time to take that insurance company to court, and the court decides, because we had, as a county, we had paid each and every premium, Honorable Speaker, so that we be in a position to get that fire engine back. The issue that was raised by Honorable Kayani pertaining the centralization of fleet management, and indicating that now and then we have been having boat heads pertaining lubricants and the likes, and that is why I have indicated that we must have a working county garage, so that these lubricants and these servicing, Honorable Speaker, will make sure that the vehicles are running. The issue with, to do with logbooks, we reported what we found, and that is why after every informant, Honorable Speaker, we have findings. You could get that some of the departments could not provide the logbooks. So we need to understand, Honorable Speaker, and that has been occasioned because of not having an elaborate asset register, Honorable Speaker. We need to understand, where are these logbooks? Were they misplaced? Where are they? Were they lost? Or what happened? And I think the Committee on Implementation will be in a position to follow up the matter, because as a committee, we equally gave instructions that within a certain timeline, Honorable Speaker, the same must be upheld. The issue to do with insurance, I wish to report to Honorable Kayani that the current service provider is Sanram. It's an international company, but for the last 2 financial years, we had Disney and Monarch, and equally in our report, we have indicated as much, and we have highlighted all the claims that are associated with both Disney and Monarch, and now the Sanram. Pertaining the issue of QR codes, Honorable Speaker, it is good to inform this House that we have an application whereby from feeding that number plate, Honorable Speaker, or through scanning, you readily get all the details of that particular vehicle. But some of the QR codes could not run, Honorable Speaker. Other stickers could not have QR codes. When we asked about the issue, we were informed by the service provider that the QR code omission were due to the printer cartridge issues, and though the soft copies were valid and shared with the department. And we were able to verify that at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker. But that notwithstanding, that was not a justification whatsoever. Because when you realize that you do not have the right thing, you do not have the right sticker, it was only imperative to request the right sticker from the service provider. Equally, it is a traffic offense, Honorable Speaker, for not displaying that sticker. You may be having it in soft copy, Honorable Speaker, or in office, but without displaying the traffic offense. And we gave recommendations to that. And equally, we acknowledge that some policies may have discrepancies, but relied on the insurance provider assurances. We called Sanram, and we had a sitting with them. So, and they made assurance that each and every vehicle, which had a valid sticker or not, is insured, and they gave that assurance even in writing. Honorable Speaker, the issue that was raised by Honorable Geshe, I want to appreciate that compliment, that indeed, even after our first report of the committee pertaining the issue of health, there is tremendous change and improvement in that department, Honorable Speaker, and that is why we requested for more time from this House, Honorable Speaker, so that we could do a very thorough job, and at least, even after the extra 45 days we requested, we were able to do this report in a comprehensive manner. The issue to do with insurances and the issue of vehicles. If the respective department, Honorable Speaker, and to be precise, now the fleet manager, because I saw in the last advertisement, the said position, Honorable Speaker, was advertised. I think this is the high time, as Honorable Engineer Muikayan indicated, we have an infrastructure in place so that now the seat is put into work. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, I want to commend my members who showed unwavering support, Honorable Speaker. We did, no any other committee has done the number of site visits we did with this committee, even without facilitation, Honorable Speaker. And I beseech the office of the clerk and the office of the Speaker to do the needful to these members, Honorable Speaker, and to an extension, Honorable Kayan and Honorable Matimo, whom through their inquiry, Honorable Speaker, at least we are able to give way on how we operate. I want to thank my Vice Chair, Honorable Sachawa Mai, Honorable Kadongo, Honorable Mathu, Honorable Duncan, Honorable Isaac Baye, and Honorable Patience Manga for their support, Honorable Speaker, and kindly, when I say that you do justice to this committee, you know what I mean.
Order, Honorable Zachary, you know you are represented in the areas you ask their members of the county assembly representing you in those particular authorities. And I'm sure they are reasoning. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have been, how do I put it? I have been pushed by members that, notwithstanding their effort, Honorable Speaker, nothing is forthcoming. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request this House to support the said motion so that the recommendations therein can be forwarded as soon as possible to the respective department for action and for a forum. And I do move.
I now put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Special Committee on consideration of insurance of county vehicles as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House. May those of a similar opinion say aye. Aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we have exhausted the business as appearing in the order paper for this afternoon sitting.
There being no other business to transact under this sitting, I now adjourn the House to Wednesday, the 26th day of March 2025 at 9:30 a.m.